All right, let's talk about Broderick Jones, the first round selection of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was very fascinated in seeing how he was going to do in this preseason game, and he got a ton of playing time. I mean, he got like 50 snaps in this game. So this isn't, some of these videos, Jalen Carter, I made a video on one of his two plays, right? Just because, it was an interesting play. But some of these I'm making a video on like someone's 7 snaps. No, this is essentially a full game of Broderick Jones that we have, a sample size of. So let's talk about how he performed in it. Well, we'll start off with the play you see on the screen. Going up one-on-one against an edge rusher for Tampa Bay here. Right when this play begins, I think Broderick Jones, really what he impressed me with in this game was his lateral movement, was his ability to get towards the outside on these speed rush moves. He was able to match edge rushers going against him who were trying to get past him in a very good way, I would say. You see right here how far he's moved towards the outside. This is good. You do often want to meet these edge rushers out there. You don't want to let them get by you because that's how, not just how sacks can happen, but that's how, those hitting the ball as it's getting thrown type plays can happen. But okay, this is also still one part of the play, you have to now have the power to be able to push the edge rusher you're going against, out of the way, and usually you do that by pushing him behind your quarterback in this scenario. And as you see, that's going to be exactly what he does. He pushes Cam Gill, that's the edge rusher who he was going up against, pushes him, pretty easily behind the, behind his quarterback. And Cam Gill, not the biggest edge rusher, only 240 pounds, but that's, he's not a baby out there either, right? So, you do expect him to be able to win that matchup. You expect Jones to win that matchup, but still a very good job for him to be able to do that. Like, again, this one's going to be another one, once again, going up against Cam Gill. If you've ever heard that name before, he is someone who has sacked Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl, so he has that going for him. I think there's a lot of people wearing Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniforms who have sacked Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl, but that's maybe a conversation for another day. Here, going up one-on-one against Broderick Jones once again, and watch what Jones is going to be able to do. Right off the bat, you see that Cam Gill starts to get towards the side, but again, you see Jones being willing to meet him there. He takes a step out there, and of course, the downside is you could potentially get beat on an inside move, but, we'll see if that happens when that scenario arises. But right here, I mean, there's just nothing Cam Gill can do at this point, right? I mean, the only thing Gill can really feels like he can do is try to use his speed because he doesn't have the strength or the hands to beat Broderick Jones. And because of that, Jones is able to, pretty, clearly kind of, get to that edge. But I do have to say, Cam Gill did end up helping bring that quarterback down right there. I think maybe one thing you could argue is continue your block, finish your block throughout. Is something that you probably would have a note for. I kind of understand why he didn't, and you don't know exactly where the quarterback is. Certainly don't want to get a holding penalty or anything like that. But I would still say that's a good play. At the end of the day, if your quarterback has that much time and they get sacked, it is either on them or the receivers. It's not going to be on the offensive line at that point. But yeah, I do also have to imagine that the Steelers, when they're breaking down this film, are saying, hey, you gotta finish that block. Something like this was another play that I would kind of categorize as the good play with not the best results, where it's going to be a one-on-one block, this time in the running game, though. So, okay, running play here, and let's see what happens. Right off the bat, I think you see Jones do a good job of getting his hands in position. Definitely has his hands in position and is ready to try and, sort of set that edge right there. And does a good job of pushing the edge rusher further back. Now, the edge rusher made a tackle on that play. So, okay, again, not ideal, not what you want to see have happen. But you know what? He, got him pretty far out of position until, the tackle was made. To me, I kind of put that more so on, either the, really the interior defensive line for Tampa Bay, kind of winning their matchups, pushing the interior offensive line for Pittsburgh a little bit further back and not giving the running lane that you would have liked to see for the halfback there. But I wouldn't put that on Jones. I think Jones's block was an actively good one. Now, there were some negatives as well. Let's talk about the negatives. This was an up and down performance by Jones. What's going to happen here is it's a one-on-one matchup against an interior defensive lineman for Tampa Bay. That's the way this is going to work, as it's going to be a designed rollout towards the top of the screen. That's why they're doing it this way. However, right when this play begins, it's a loss by Jones. He just doesn't get over enough to where, if you're going to make this block, you really have to get over quickly. And he kind of was a little bit slow, not even that slow, but this is maybe part of, a learning experience for Jones of just understanding what it takes to be in the NFL. And there is a difference between NFL speed and college speed. Because as you see, I mean, he basically just, he didn't even do anything on that play. The, interior defensive lineman got straight through. Again, didn't matter on this specific play, but it could matter on a future play. He just has to get over quicker. These are the kind of things I think, are why you have him play in the preseason and why you give him a ton of snaps in the preseason. Let him sort of learn the hard way about these mistakes now, so that way he's not learning the hard way about these mistakes in the regular season. Also, heading over to this play, what's going to happen is that, he's going to be going up one-on-one against Marquise Watts right here. That's the player. It's not Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett used to wear 58. He now wears number 7. So now it's the guy who currently wears 58, Watts here. Watch what's going to happen on this play. So right when this play begins, you see that I think Jones could have done a better job getting his left arm in better position. You kind of see how it's almost like tucked in a little bit, and he really doesn't have it exactly where he would want on Watts. And that, if you're a left tackle, that left hand is just so important. Because watch how now Watts just overpowers Jones and gets to the quarterback and knocks the football out on top of it. Hey, give credit to Jones for hustling back, finding a way to, if you give up the sack that causes the forced fumble, you got to recover the football, right? That's just what you got to do. That's your, it doesn't make up for the lost yardage, but, that's at least step one. It's a step in the right direction. Good stuff to recover there, but definitely a bit of a negative play. He'll have to get some technique down for sure. But again, as a whole, I thought this was a good performance from Jones. When you play enough snaps, you're going to have some weak moments, but I can deal with a rookie player looking like a rookie at times. What you don't want to see is someone coming in and not being able to have anything look good, which was not the case for Jones. So maybe a little bit raw in certain areas. That's, again, okay. You can live with that, and hopefully that, at least some of that gets kind of ironed out before the season starts, and probably part of why they're playing him so much in the preseason is to get that ironed out, is how I view it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Jones. Up and down performance, but I'm not concerned about the downs necessarily. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. What were your thoughts on his performance? Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.